Hello, and welcome back to, oh yeah, the official title of this podcast. I've never mentioned it so far, but it's called Hear Me Scream At, and then insert the topic I want to talk about because, I don't scream, but I do like talking a lot, that's for sure. And, last week I was a little bit negative because it was Persona 5, and I'm like, oh god, when I'm negative, I don't really talk a lot, I realize. That podcast is, the shortest one I've done so far. It's, only half an hour long around there, so, when I'm negative, I don't talk much. Anyway, this time around, instead of talking about one game or one subject, I'm gonna talk about, okay, it's gonna be video games, but it's gonna be about 10 different video games. So, but a little story behind this topic is that once I was finished with my first video, the one about Dark Souls 2, the commentary video, I had other videos idea, but after that video, I literally procrastinated so hard to the point of depression where I did not want to do any other videos for some reason. I don't know why, but I had so many different ideas planned out, but now I feel like I can do them, but now I don't have time to do them, so that just sucks. And one of those video idea was my top 10 games from 2019 because I love video games, shocker. And it was and I played a lot of video games in 2019 that I really want to talk about. And it's not about the games that were released in 2019, it's games that I've personally played in 2019. So if the game came out 10 years ago and now I played it last year and it was on the list, that's what I did. And I wrote it, okay, I didn't wrote everything, but I did wrote those 10 games that I really liked of that year, and I wanted to talk about them, but procrastination, and also I started getting into Kingdom Hearts at that time, so my time was whoosh. But I did came back after 6 months and I did another commentary video because of my pettiness, but that's not the point of today. So I thought, I don't have the script ready, but I have the script, I have the list of the games right in front of me now, and I thought I don't want to talk about it next year once I'm done with the anime, so it will be a waste. So I thought, hey, why not talk about it now? 8 months into this year is a little bit late, but whatever. Anyway, so to start off the list I had ready, the 10th game I have on is Bloodborne, and it's Bloodborne is what's to talk about Bloodborne? The thing with Bloodborne with me, I like the game, don't get me wrong. It's after I beat Dark Souls 3, I'm I just want more from software, and my friend hyped Bloodborne up, everyone hyped Bloodborne up, and I'm oh, what's time to do? And I got Bloodborne for Christmas without the DLC, so I had to buy the DLC, so that was fun because oh god, $20 for DLC, I was oh. Wait, I think I got it on special offer, I don't remember. So anyway, and I got Bloodborne that year, and I was I got Bloodborne during 2018 Christmas, and I started playing it after a month later, 2019, so that's why it's on the list. And it's compared to Dark Souls 3, I do like Dark Souls 3 a little bit more, but compared to Dark Souls 1, I just like Bloodborne a little bit better. The one thing I absolutely loved about Bloodborne was definitely the art style and the direction. Lovecraftian horror is one of my not hidden fetish, no, what you call it. And there's this word that I completely forgot about. It's my bread and butter. I just love Lovecraftian horror. I like how you can do it, and a lot of the bosses design, like Embriatus and Orphan of Kos, I just absolutely adore because it just looks so cosmic and horrific. And I also wanna, it's Sacred Shape, but I really do like Embriatus for a little bit more than just her design. But I'll get that's Secret Shame, so I'm not gonna go into it. But the thing about Bloodborne, the reason why it's so low on my list is because gameplay wise, it has one of the best PvE in the series, but it has some of the worst bosses in my opinion. Shadow of Yharnam, especially in my opinion, out of the entirety, okay, in Bloodborne I mean, is one of the most laziest boss because it honestly felt like they added it just because they realized between Vicar Emilia and Orphan of Kos, there's literally nothing in between that isn't absolute optional. So they added them in, and it's it feels off. And it only took, and that's most of the bosses in my opinion. They aren't bad. There's some good ones like Father Cascoigne and Father Gearman, the first hunter, whatever you call him. They're great bosses, but I feel they could have more. A lot of them just felt off or bad, to say the least. And it only took into the DLC where it fully utilizes the gameplay and bosses. And it's not And no one ever talks about it, but it's true because if you look at any top 5 bosses for Bloodborne, 3 of them is either the combination of Lady Maria, Orphan of Cos, or Ludwig, and the other 2 is either Father Fat Cast going Gehrman, or you have those odd exceptions that they put Vicar Emilia or Embrietas. That's like literally look at any top 5 and you will see, and it's like. So that's one of my complaints about Bloodborne, and I put it so low as the bosses. But other than that, I love the gameplay, the exploration aspect. It's okay. I wasn't blown away like I was with Dark Souls 3 or 2 because like some of the game's shortcuts just feel like as though they added a tenfold ladder there, and it's like, yup, that's a shortcut. But other than that, I still like Bloodborne. I love the music. I love the lore, even if it's kind of dumb and just weird at point. But that's Lovecraftian horror for you. I just adore it, but with the bosses and some weird gameplay choices, I put it so low. And I say I didn't want it to be negative, and so far I'm being negative towards Bloodborne, but I do genuinely like Bloodborne. The fashions and the gothic style is like, oh yes, it fuels my emo phase I never had. Okay, but next to Bloodborne, on my 9th place, is actually Dream Daddy, the director's cut, and I'm like, okay, Dream Dad is a game that I found weird because it was made by Game Grumps. Apparently, I don't know who they are. I've never watched any of their content, but the game seems interesting, and I'm like, I never, as a gay person, and there was never a game that you're like, oh, you actually play as a gay protagonist, or like in a light novels, it's like, they seem so fresh and new, and it's like, but I never had the hardware to play like back then. Like, oh, I did have a PS4 as well, but it's like, I don't like playing light novels on such a big console. But it did came out to the Switch, and the Switch is portable, and I'm like, probably good. And I do. There was one point in my life that I really liked light novels. I just really enjoy them, like Danganronpa and Diabolical Lovers. I really like light novels. So like, playing that game really just opened that little memories of me that I had playing light novels. But and the fact that it's about homosexual couples and stuff, it was so cool, and I loved it. The story, like all the main dads you can romance, they're all pretty good. And I like how some of them end in like not in a relationship, but in a satisfying way, I would say. But the only one that I absolutely hated was Joseph, because like I have a line that I draw, and that's towards married guys, so that's just like, I don't want to do it, but my completionist inside me says I should, and that was an absolute drag. But other than that, I absolutely adore all of them. They were just so fun, and I laugh out a couple of times as well. The humor was just so good, and those puns are just so, it fuels me. Also, the music, not my favorite soundtrack in this list, far not, but it was still catchy, and it had those good songs in it, not gonna lie. Everything about it just felt good. The only issue I have is like the replayability is like almost non-existent because it's a light novels and stuff. But another surprising thing that I liked about it, the game, was definitely Amanda, like your daughter or adopted daughter she could be. I just absolutely adore her. I was surprised how cool and memorable she is, and it's like, oh my god, she's my daughter. And the fact, like, I did look up to the guides for this game because like I was not about to play the game just to see which dialogue option is okay, because like that's not how I played light novels. But like with Amanda, I didn't know like you can actually get a bad ending for her, like she doesn't end well for her. So and I managed to get the perfect ending for her, which surprises me the most because I did not use a guide for that, and I didn't even know that. And it was like, oh, I love her, she's such a great character. Even the avatar, it felt like an actual person which is with his own quirks and stuff, which surprised me the most because it's supposed to be you. And I played so many light novels that's like you play as this little girl with definitely no personality because you're supposed to project yourself to her. So like having an actual character as a protagonist, like, oh, this is nice, I like this. And the whole entire game is just adorable. So my 8th game in my list is actually Kirby Star's Ally, and it surprises me the most because like when the game first announced, I was actually, after Planet Robobot, I was really just satisfied with Kirby that I didn't feel like I should play the next game in the series. But when Kirby Planet Robobot was, Kirby Star Allies was announced, I'm like, oh hey, this looks cool. And then the game was released, and I didn't even notice until like a month later when I saw it listed in my local game store. Pardon me. Where I bought it, and it's like, oh hey, there you go, it's a game. Because when it comes to video game announcement and release, I'm like, after that Persona 5 incident, I never get hyped for video games anymore, because like I just realized that hype can absolutely kill a game, make it to an okay game to a disappointing game. So I never really get hyped for anything until it releases, or like a 1 week before it releases. And that's my stance on video games announcements. Like I'll watch some trailers of it, but then I'll just forget about it until the game actually gets released next week or something, because like hypes just kill it. So Kirby Star Allies, when it first announced, it seemed interesting, but then I forgot about it, and then it was released, and I actually bought it and played it, and I absolutely adore it because it was so fucking adorable. Because like it's Kirby, how can it not be? The music, I still love Triple Selug's music a little bit more, but like saying Kirby Star Allies is the weak soundtrack is absolutely not. That battle, the last demon fight, you've like the final boss is like what the hell, and those remixes of like different medleys from different games, like the one for Triple Deluxe and Planet Robo was like, oh yes, there you go, feed this musician that's dead inside. And it's cool, but there isn't much else to say about it, because like it's Kirby. Jury was a little bit on the easy side, but that fucking added added levels at AX level, the hardest balls level. Yeah, that's just fucking hard. Like I haven't 100%ed the game yet, I just don't have time for that, but I still enjoy the game far and on. It was just really fun, and it was a fun Kirby game. And it's like, and I like how like the game gets meta as well. Like after you finish with Green Hill, like the first world, and then it's like, oh, here's the credit scene, lol, joke. There's still more to it. That was just funny, and the game just looks adorable. It runs amazing on the Switch. Okay, not when it's on dock, but once you're playing on a big TV, it just looks phenomenal. Oh yeah, and it's fun. But there isn't much to say about it. But the 7th game on my list is like, can you even call it a game? It's Picross S2, the second Picross game. Is like, I may be dumb, but I absolutely love puzzle games. And once I played the like Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Picross that they released on the 3DS through the My Nintendo reward. I bought that because I had those coins, and I'm like, it's a puzzle game, but I never got into it right away. It took me like 3 months one day when I was bored in school, then I played it, and it was like, oh, I'm really into Picross now, shit. And then I bought the one for this Nintendo Switch, like the second one. It was like, it's fun. Picross is surprisingly fun. I love it. I'm not good at it, but it's fun. Also, like, there's a lot of options. Like, you can choose ambience music or ambient background noise or good music. It's like, it's Picross. It's fun. Why is it on my list compared to other games? Because like I had fun playing, and that's why. I managed to get to the last part of the puzzles, and I could never do them because it was too hard for me, so I'm stuck in those. But it's like, I had fun. Picross is fun. So there's not much to say about that, but it's like, so the next game on my list is Portal 2. It's a funny story with Portal 2. Like that game was released how many years ago, but I recently played it last year because like last year I was working to buy a laptop. I would never wanted to get like a computer, a full set of computer yet, because simply put, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future if I ended up moving away, because if I ended up moving away in 2 years or 1 year flat, okay, 2 years I would say, so that means I have a lot of stuff to move out. But if it's a laptop, it's simple to pack and stuff, so that's why I chose a laptop. But I wanted to make sure that it's a laptop that can run okay, which I am proud of, that I got. Because one of the games I really wanted to play was Portal 1 and Portal 2, because like, I know it was one of the games as a child, looking at it just looks so fun, and I want to fucking play it, but I never had a computer, I never had a laptop that can run the game. So once I got a laptop, one of the first games I ever bought was Portal 1 and Portal 2. Like there was a bundle, and I fucking played the first game and I loved it. But then I'm like, I just want more of it. And then Portal 2, and I played Portal 2 right afterward. Like I beat Portal 1 in one night. So once I played Portal 2, it's like everything I wanted. It's like, it's more of Portal 1, and it's amazing. The music was, okay, the music I don't remember much, but the fucking dialogue, the humor, the puzzles, they were just more of Portal 1, and it was just so fun. And I loved it, like, and the humor, I was like, oh my god, Potato GLaDOS is just, oh, I never laughed so hard before. It's just so fun. It's like, and creative as well, like the whole GUI, the substance, the orange and blue ones. I thought there would be this weird gimmick, but it turns out to be surprisingly fun and creative way to use a puzzle. And it's like, it's a fun game. I like it. There's not much more of it like to say about it, and I think it ended pretty nicely, satisfying, and it's like, it was fun. I want to try the multiplayer one day, definitely with a friend, but I was like, I don't have no time. Did I mention that I don't have fucking time? So yeah, like with Portal 2, it's just a fun game. I guess my only complaint that I wish it was longer, but I think it just ended and it just plays nicely. It doesn't drag for too long. None of the puzzles just feel dumb or anything. It was just fun. So halfway through the list now, and we have Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I'm like, I got into Fire Emblem thanks to Awakening, like a lot of people. Like Awakening saved the series apparently, and it holds true. And then when Fate was announced, everyone was absolutely hyped for it. Like Fate, I'm pretty sure is one of the best-selling Fire Emblem game. And then yeah, that game was a little disappointing for some. Like the story was absolute ass, but everything else was just so fucking good. Like the music, the characters, they were just fun, and the gameplay itself was like more of Fire Emblem. But the next game, Fire Emblem Echoes, like when it first announced, it looked interesting. I liked the beginning where there's like a storytelling, but then the game just kept going, and I thought, it looks boring, so I sort of dropped. So I never got into it, and I still haven't. I want to get into it. I want to get the game one day, but it's like, it just doesn't seem interesting. And then Fire Emblem Three Houses was announced for the Nintendo Switch, like the big main title, and it's like, interesting. And then I did not got into it, like, because like I said, I don't get hyped for video games anymore. It's just, I do not want to do that anymore, because like it ended up ruining to the game. So like a week before the game came out, like after 2 years after the announcement trailer, I'm like, oh god, this looks pretty hype, not gonna lie. So I got into it, I watched some of the trailers, it was just so cool, and especially the music, the game's main theme, Edge of Dawn, it's just like, oh, it sounds so good, I wanna know who done it. So where's the fucking soundtrack? I'm waiting for it to be released, it's never been announced yet. So I got the game and I absolutely loved it. Like, other than graphics looking absolutely horrible at points, not gonna lie, everything else about the game was just amazing. The story, the music, the characters, the gameplay was an absolute joy, especially the fucking music and the story as well. Like, oh my god, this portrayal of war being a serious and hard, like massive thing. It's like, holy crap, especially compared to Final Fantasy 16, where they're kind of lightly tread on war, but in this game they fully embrace it. Like compared to Fire Emblem Fates, where like, oh, when we're fighting, we don't actually kill those soldiers, we just knock them out. But like in this game, they're like, yo, they're fucking dead. The war is serious business, people. People fucking die in this. And it's like, and the fact that there's no happy ending, it's just like even makes the story so good. It's like there's not like definitive path. Each game's like routes are all completely different, and none of them should be considered canon. That's like the best part of this game for me. I love it. My first route was Edelgar's Crimson Flower, because I just love Edelgar's design. I think she looks adorable and stuff. And like I like the house in general. Like Linhardt was the only gay option in the game, so I just have no shock there, and I just loved it. Like the music, like some of my favorite tracks I want to list out, and I want to know who fucking composed them, because like there were 3 different composers, 2 from Awakening and like the what's his name again, because like one of them is Reikondo, one of them is Hiroki Morishita, who both work at Fire Emblem Awakening and Fates. And you also have Takeru Kanazaki, who did the main theme, Age of Dawn, and he did an amazing job. He was brought on Fates, I believe, Fates, and he just does amazing contribution. I really want to know who does who, because like Fodlin's win an amazing battle theme, and it's like everything, like there's a lot of good ones, like Dwelling of the Ancient Gods, the Blue Skies, and the battle between heaven and earth, which was like so many good songs. And I love the fact that it's like, oh, since it's a fantasy game, medieval game, instead of just doing like orchestrated godlike theme, they also put in like a little bit dubstep and techno beat. That's just so fucking creative, and I love it. Makes it so unique with so many other games that's just like, oh, it's a medieval game, let's not use any techno or dubstep. But in this game, it just fucking embraces it, and it's amazing. After I was done with the Edelgard theme, I did Blue Lions. That was just amazing. I love Dimitri. I was surprised with Dimitri the most. I thought he was an amazing character. When I first saw him, I hated his hair, and I still fucking do. Especially that fucking pox art. Like, the game's art stock just looks absolutely weird at points, and especially Dimitri's hair. But I was surprised how much I liked the character, especially towards his end of the route. That scene with him and Edelgard in the end, that was just... oh, that's too much for me. And now, while I don't have enough time, I tried to play a little bit of Fire Emblem's Three Houses sometime, because when you need to replay the game to do the other routes, you need to go all the way from the bag. Even in New Game Plus, it just feels like a drag. But at the moment, I am doing the church route now, and I want to save the Golden Deers for last, because like out of all the three houses, the Golden Deer just looks the most boring to me. I don't know why. Like, Claude is not a bad character, but like I don't think it's that interesting. But I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, because so far the game just takes my expectation and just kills it, because the story is just that fucking good, and I love it. So the next game I have on my list is Pokemon Shield. Oh my god, I remember now. It's so weird because like now Pokemon Shield is still a fucking hot debate with the community. It's insane. Oh yeah, I want to mention my stance in communities. I fucking hate them. I never, like, I used to back then as a little, like, growing up, I used to associate myself with communities, but nowadays I just don't. I think communities for the most part just fucking suck, but there is some good ones, don't get me wrong. Like Stardew Valley's and Kirby's communities are absolutely adorable. But there's some communities that are just so horrible. It's either because they're too toxic, or it's just like blind by the game or something, or it's just really bad. And so I never involve myself with communities. And I'm saying communities are a bad thing, but they're just not for everyone, and that's for me. So I never really, but it doesn't mean that I don't go into them. Like on Reddit, I still join subreddits talking about the game, because I usually do have good contact with them, but I just don't associate myself with them, because like, for a variety of reasons. And the same with Pokemon. Like out of all communities, like Pokemon is the worst, but I do not want to get into that. I mentioned it in my second video, talking about a Pokemon video. Like, go look at that. Shameless plug. Also follow me on Twitter. I never said that before, but follow me on Twitter. I'm bored there. I haven't posted anything there, because like I don't know what to post. What do people post on fucking Twitter? So anyway, but like Pokemon Shield was such a hot debate because of so many different reasons. So when I first got the game, I'm like, which one should I get? Sword and Shield, but like I'm a glass cannon, so I chose Shield, so that was a weird choice. And I played the game, and all I can say is like, yep, the game is fucking fun. Everything about the game is just fun. I love the way it looked. The color's absolutely bright. I'm thinking that was better than Black and White. Compared to Black and White 2, I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about that, but compared to the original Black and White, it's just a better game. Don't even add me on that, because it's true. Most people are so... Because with the community, people are just blinded at the game at the moment. I'm telling you now, that happens to every game so far, because like Ruby and Sapphire, I mentioned this all before my other Pokemon video, so look at that. I don't want to get into it. I just want to talk about Pokemon Shield, because like everything about Pokemon Shield I absolutely love. Like with the music especially, I'm waiting for the last fucking piece of DLC to come out so they can release the soundtrack, and I'm so excited for the second DLC, because I'm so excited for the remix of the Reggie Trio theme. I hope they have a new remix, and I'm so excited. So that's the music. I love it, even though it's two composers. I think it's Goichicho or Masuda, I don't remember, but the other one, Minako Adachi, her work in Pokemon Sun and Moon was just amazing. I love her. She's an amazing composer. Another aspect I love about the game was its humor. The characters, a lot of them are so memorable, especially the gym leader Hop. Such an underrated character. People like to make fun of him, but he was literally one of the most best rivals out there, especially Bede and what's her name again? I completely forgot. The goth girl. People like her. I like her design. She's adorable. Her boots are just cute as hecky. But like, especially her theme is just so good. I love it. Everything about the game I love. It's just adorable. The graphics looks amazing. All the new Pokemon design was just so good. Especially the world, it just looks great. The wild area surprises me the most. Like Gigantic acting, like fighting them with other people, is just a balls to do. Especially the not main antagonist, but the bad guy, quote unquote, Rose. It's like people so misunderstand him. He's not a bad guy. He's just a guy worried about the future of his region. And people say he's like the antagonist or something, but like that's not the point. You completely missed the point of his character. His battle theme was also pretty good. Eterna's theme as well, especially the main legendary theme was like, yo, why is this bass line so fucking good? And like, the fact that they use howl as an instrument is like, I want to say it's dumb, but the theme is pretty kick-ass. Like, it's just such a good song. The whole sequence with you fighting with Hop and fighting alongside Hop with the legendary duel, that was just, I don't want to say epic like in Kingdom Hearts 3 kind of epic, but it's Pokemon epic standard, so I fucking loved it. And the whole tournament aspect of it was just so fun and creative, and I loved the whole chanting of the arena. It felt like a football stadium and I loved it. The game in general is just so adorable. Sure, it has no old Pokemon, and sure, Game Freak lied in some aspect, but other than that, I still thought it was a fun game. Remember where games are supposed to be fun? I was like, oh, and the fucking DLC, the Isle of Armor, like I got it like a week afterwards it came out, and I was surprised at how fucking fun it was. Like the dialogue as well, Avery is a surprisingly good character. I love his theme as well. And the game has some moments that just literally made me out laughing again. I'm talking about the DLC, and everything about the DLC was just so fun. It wasn't even short, it was just fun. Especially Konfugu, like the little panda you get. I was like, yo, those cutscenes with him training with you, that was just adorable. I love it. Especially Mustard. I never thought I could laugh to a character. And the fact that Honey, I thought she would just be like a generic NPC, but no, she's like the secret boss of this game, of this DLC, and it's just like, yep, just surprisingly fucking metal. I'm fucking surprised. I loved her. And like, it's like, I loved it. I loved it. That's all I can fucking say of it. And the fourth game I have, the third game, oh yeah. I also beat Sekiro. That was a game. Oh god, Sekiro is such a conflicted game to me because like, it's also one of the only platinum From Software game I platinum on the PS4. So it's like, so it's weird because like, I want to say I love the game, but I really just, like, I don't know why, it's so hard for me to say it, even though I beat the fucking game in platinum and I loved it, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I can't say I absolutely adore it. Like the music, I love Yuga Kitamura, don't get me wrong, but it was just, I wish they could have, no, I don't want to say better, but it's like, there's so many other stuff that I feel like it's missing. Like the main story is not bad, it's better than most Dark Souls games because there was an actual story with cutscene and characters, I liked it. But there's like the gameplay wise, I feel like there was so many mini bosses that just did not work with the game. Like the game encourages you to fucking deflect and stuff, but there's like too many bosses in a row where you can't really fucking deflect them. So I don't understand that, especially in the beginning. But I do feel like the game is one of the most to do New Game Plus. Like out of the whole Soulsborne game, the only game that did New Game Plus right was Dark Souls 2, because like it actually changes it up and doesn't just redo the game with harder enemies and more HP of the enemy. But it's like, just because the gameplay is fun, like the PvE, like with Bloodborne, I think it has one of the best in the series, but like has slightly better bosses, like the Corrupted Monk and Kenichi, they were just absolute fun bosses to do. But there's like, I think like it's missing something. I like the game, but I can never really say I absolutely adore it. The reason why I have it so high on my list was definitely because of the fucking gameplay. Like deflecting just feels so fucking satisfying, it's unreal. But I feel like it could be added more. I still felt satisfied with the game. I don't think the game needed DLC just to make it better. The whole and it's like, but I feel like there's something missing. And I still enjoy the game, don't get me wrong. And like, oh yeah, the lightning deflecting is just fucking awesome. It's lit, I love it. It's just so satisfying to pull off. But like the difficulty as well, like I've never had a hard time with it. Like with Kenichiro, Ishin, the Sword Saint. When I first got to the final boss, like, oh, this can be really hard. So I took a little 2 days break of it and I played it that a couple of days later at night. And then I fucking managed to beat him on my third try, like barely. I did use a lot of my resources, but I fucking managed to do it. So I'm like, okay, that seems kind of weird, not gonna lie. And then I remember like the owl, like the father fight, the one when you do it in Hirata Estate. I also thought that would be like a super duper hard boss, but then I beat him on my first try, and I'm like, okay, what's up with that? And then I did Ishin again on my second New Game Plus, and it's like I beat him on my first try with barely any resources spent. So like difficulty just feels weird for me in this game. I want to say it's hard, but I've never died 100 times to it. I can say that much, to say the least. So that's what weirded me the game the most, not gonna lie. I still liked it. I think it's one of the best From Software games out there, but I feel like there's something missing. Apparently the game is getting downloadable content later on. Wow, I'm professional. So like that is exciting, but I have no idea what it is, and it's coming out in October, so there's still time for that. So like, okay. But another thing I liked about this game is definitely the Divine Dragon. That whole fight, the music was just amazing. It's like, it's not hard, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. Also, out of all the From Software games, that was literally my PS4 Slim was dying because of the game. It's weird because compared to Kingdom Hearts 3, it didn't die as much because the minute you finish with the Divine Beast, the Divine Dragon, and you go through out of the tower and you go down to go try to find Kuro, you have to go through the beginning area again of the game, and there's just full of enemies that the game fucking drops so hard for me. I don't know why, but that's like a side note. I still like the game, don't get me wrong. But my second to last in this list is a game that I absolutely love, and that's Stardew Valley. Before Animal Crossing New Horizon came out this year, I really wait, when did Animal Crossing Horizon came out? Yeah, no, this year, I remember. I really wanted something to satisfy me because I played New Leaf on my 3DS and I absolutely loved the New Leaf. I spent like over 400 hours on that game, and I really wanted another game to satisfy me for the one before the Switch version came out. And I heard about Stardew Valley. It's like a farming simulation close to Harvest Moon or Story of Season, what you call it now. I do want to get into that as well, especially with the new game Mineral Town, but that's a side note again. So I just heard of Stardew Valley and I heard how good it is, and like, oh, it's on the Switch, maybe I should get it. So I bought it one day and I managed to spend the entire first in-game month in one sitting. It was like, yep, it's that addictive. I absolutely love it. I already spent like 100 hours on that game in like 3 months. It was insane. And I was surprised because one thing I'm scared is definitely time management, because the game doesn't run in real world clock. It has its own in-game clock system. So I thought that would be the worst part, but it turns out not. It's just really fun. Farming is surprisingly fun. The fishing mini game was fun, like, and especially the characters. I romanced Alex on my first playthrough, and like, he's best boy. I love it. I love how real it feels. I like all the characters. It's just so fun, especially in the beginning, because like, yo, in real life you just cannot go up to people and they act all friendly to you. That's just not a thing. So like, having them act like that, slowly warming up to it, all the different holidays as well, is just so relaxing. I spent so many hours just sitting down and playing the game on a nice winter day. It was just so fun and not exciting, but it's like satisfying, especially the minute I built my first coop and got like my first couple of chickens. I was like, yo, I'm going somewhere. This is fun. Especially like once like you get married and then you have that room with the babies and they ask you, do like your partner ask you for like a baby, do you want a baby? It's like, oh, I'm getting a child. Oh my god. And I got emotional over that. It was just so nice. It was just adorable. And the fact that the game still gets free updates later on, it's just like, oh god, that was so fun. I remember when the update first dropped on the PC, I was excited because I did ended up buying the PC version as well. I haven't spent much time on it because like, I really just play portable games on my Switch, like on dock when I'm out. So I usually spend my time when I'm playing like that. So that was a sort of waste, but I like supporting the game creator, not gonna lie. But like, when the update was released for all the other consoles, I remember that day because I was at the gym and then I fucking squealed so hard the guy behind me heard. So that was, oh god, like there's a lot of embarrassing moments when I'm at the gym, not gonna lie. But other than that, I just like, the game was just so nice, so relaxing. It was just so good. But then the game has intense moments, like you go to the cave system, like, to get to 100 floors, I think it was. That was intense because there's combat and it's like, oh god, when the cave goes all dark and green and fog, and I was like, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And it was like, ooh. it was just, it has its moment and I love it, especially once you complete the community center. That was just a rush of euphoria. That's like euphoria, is that even how you pronounce it? Which is so satisfying. The one thing I did not like about the game, like after 3 or 4 in-game years, you have your grandfather coming out of nowhere just to tell you how good you've been doing. That feels so weird for me because the whole part of the game is like, do your own thing. You don't have to do it perfectly. So that when he came out and only gave me 3 out of 4 fire, that was just, fuck you, granddad. I like, thank God you're dead. So that was just annoying. Also the music, it was done by one guy as well, and the soundtrack is so fucking catchy as well. I wish I could buy it and I have no idea where to buy it. It's just so good, I love it. I really have no complaints for the game, really, maybe because, but maybe like after the 5th year it just gets samey and repetitive, but that means you can start again. You can also fucking divorce, which I can never do because like, it just breaks my fucking heart and it's too much for my little mental mind. And I am excited the fact that the game still has fucking updates as well. Right now there's one in development. It's like, that guy needs the creator needs a fucking break, but he does it. He keeps going. I don't know why. And he does a hell of a good job with it. Now my last game on the list is not surprising at all if you just knew. But like last year I played Final Fantasy 15 and like, yeah, that's my game of the year of 2019. I fucking love Final Fantasy 15 and everything about it. The music, the characters, the story, the details, the side contacts were just amazing. It was just so good. The moment it clicked on me was, it's like I played through the game 4 different times and like it was during my second playthrough where it just absolutely clicked on me. Like the game definitely has its issue, don't get me wrong, because like, oh, I can't say I claim this game to be amazing without someone saying that it's bad. It does have its issue because this is the fucking community we live at. So like, it took into the second playthrough for me to click with the gameplay because it's Final Fantasy 15 combat is different from others, but that makes it so much more unique and so much more fun in my opinion. But like on the second playthrough, it just clicked on me and it was so fun, especially with all the side DLC, like each episodes. Also, I completely forgot to mention an episode Arden that has Ludus Juice vocals in it. That was just an amazing track. Like I mentioned the soundtrack in my Final Fantasy 15 part and I completely forgot to talk about episode Arden's theme. I feel so bad about that, not gonna lie. But like in general, the DLC, their episodes DLC, they were all so fun and unique, and like everything about the game I just fucking adore. Listen to my Final Fantasy 15 podcast if you want to hear more of that. But like there are so many other stuff, like I listen to my own podcast before releasing it because I want to make sure it's at least passable. So I went back to my Final Fantasy 15 one and I realized there was so many other stuff I did not mention about the game that I really want to talk about. So yeah, get ready for another Final Fantasy 15 podcast because that's how much I fucking love the game. So yeah, that were all there. I did have some honorable mentions I had written down here. The first, there's only 2, and that's Laden Mystery and Pokemon Ultra Sun. I absolutely adore these 2 games, but like I haven't beaten them because like Laden Mystery has episodic and Ultra Sun and Moon has weird stories, so I never completed them. Like I was close with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Pokemon Sun and Moon, I'm telling you now, has one of the best story in the series, bar none. Better than Black and White and Black and White 2. I fucking said it. Lily is more interesting than fucking N. I'm telling you that. I'm saying it now. But Ultra Sun and Luzamine is like the best fucking antagonist ever. But Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon sort of changes that, so I don't really like it as much. It's not a bad, but it's like... And Ultra and Crossman's theme pretty much fucking saved the games as well. That was just such an amazing kick-ass theme. So that's why I like it. And then you have Laden Mystery, like the Catriel one is like, it's good, but I've never finished it because like, I have my reasons. I mentioned them before. Listen to my Professor Layton podcast if you want to find out more. So last year, these 10 games were just amazing for me. Like even Bloodborne, which is in my last of the list, and Sekiro, they were fun fucking games to say the least. They were all amazing. They had those moments where made me love and remember. I love video games, especially Final Fantasy 15, which completely fucking destroyed me. Anyway, I hope this was a more positive podcast than the previous one on Persona 5. Oh, maybe next week is gonna be even more depressing. Who knows? Anyway, more negative. No knows. I'm a good hypocrite, not gonna lie. Anyway, I guess that's the end. There's not much else I can say about it without making another top 10 video. Oh, I'm saying this now. This year, I probably will not play a lot of games because I don't have no time. But who knows? Because like, yeah, who does know? I don't know. This is going on. The hate is getting to me right now. So I'm gonna end this here. Thank you for listening, and again, see you. No, I hope you come again next week. Bye bye.